Elise was born centuries ago in Noxus, and her being centuries old is important and something I will answer at the end of this video. Elise was a part of the House of Kythera, and pretty privilege was her thing as she was considered very attractive. It's also worth knowing she's super cunning and manipulative. As Elise is getting older, she was interested in marrying Berthold, who was the heir to the House of Zavan. A lot of people hated the idea of them getting married, and to be honest, they are only interested in getting married for political power. Once they get married, it might be obvious, but it's clearly not a love marriage and they just don't get on. Especially as Elise was a puppet master in this marriage and Berthold hated that. So to challenge this, one day when they are eating together, he poisons her drink and tells her to get the antidote she needs to leave Noxus and he will keep all the political power. Yes, I know, kinda crazy. She isn't a loser though, as she manipulated him by acting all sad and stuff, and just as he was about to give in to her act, she finds a knife and stabs him in his heart. Honestly, both of them are villains, but we knew they weren't Romeo and Juliet, so it's fine. Elise then takes the antidote. However, even with the antidote, she is bedbound for weeks, and one day, whilst being bedbound, she is visited by the Pale Lady. The Pale Lady tells her about an organization called the Black Rose. She tells Elise that Elise is allowed to keep all of her political power as long as she remains loyal to her. By the way, the Pale Lady is Leblanc. Elise agreed to this, but also knew that she had to prove herself to Leblanc or Leblanc would have zero reason to let her live. Skip some time, Elise thrived under Leblanc's loyalty, and she became a master of maintaining her influence in Noxus. However, one day, Elise learns about an important artifact to the Black Rose. This was the skull of an ancient warlord known as San Uzul, and it was rumored that this was hidden in the Shadow Isles in a place called Helia. Side note, the Shadow Isles was previously the Blessed Isles, and it's called the Shadow Isles because of the whole ruination stuff. To watch how that happened, the video is in the description. Okay, so San Uzul is the real name of Mordekaiser. Now let's get back to Elise. Elise goes on a mission to Helia to retrieve this artifact. Once she gets there, something happens to her she did not expect. She meets Vilemaw, a spider god thing, and to summarize, Vilemaw kills everyone in her crew and dude transforms Elise into the spider human thing you see today. So what does this mean? Well, Vilemaw tells her that she needs to feed him, aka be his slave, and in return he will give her eternal youth. But wouldn't that annoy Leblanc? As Leblanc said Elise has to be loyal to her completely? Well, it actually doesn't, because Leblanc is okay with Elise feeding Vilemaw, and Leblanc knows Elise now has complete access to the Shadow Isles, and that can benefit her in the future. So all in all, Elise is technically Vilemaw's pet, but at the same time her loyalty is still with Leblanc. Honestly, this is most of Elise's lore, and by the way, I know I'm summarizing the video fast, but that's the point of the whole lore in minutes, and if you made it this far, don't forget to like the video and subscribe too. There is a few other stories that mention Elise. One of them is called Strand by Silken Strand. And honestly, to summarize, it's a story about a man called Marcus who finds himself trapped in a dark forest with cobwebs. He's a part of a cult that follows Elise. She then uses her beauty to manipulate him, leading him to a temple where she basically kills him so that she can live, hinting she is going to offer him to Vilemaw to retain her eternal youth. And you know in the beginning I mentioned she is centuries old? Well, Vilemaw is the reason why she is centuries old. This is Elise's main lore, and honestly, I really like it. I like how the twisted, power-hungry psychopath is crazy but also loyal to her cause. She's an interesting character. And you know how Ash and Tryndamere also have a political marriage but in the end they end up liking each other? I like the contrast how Elise's political marriage remains political, and honestly both of them try to kill each other. And guys, I am recording this video at 1 in the morning, so like, drop a comment on who to do next and subscribe. Thank you, love you, bye.